What's back with you people? Anansi X here, and we are back with Cinema Synergy Podcast. Today we are talking about sequels, and how they've been done right and how they've been done wrong. so before we get off on a start about this, Zay, let me ask you, how do you feel about sequels?
I'm 50-50 with them, to be honest with you. Like you said, there's some movies that I don't mind if they make sequels, and there's some that have been made with sequels that should not have been made.
You have any examples?
For me, I know people gonna fly at me for this. As far as good, I like Fast and Furious franchise. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like it. I just love it. I love it. Entertainment purpose. I love it. That's a good one for me. As far as a bad one, I can't think of one right now, but I know there's one. Alien versus Predator Requiem. That movie should not have been made. That movie was atrocious and trash. Again, if y'all seen the first Alien vs. Predator, started it all. That was the best one.
Yeah.
But when that second one came out, you couldn't see shit in that movie.
So you believe that AVP should have been one and done?
Yes, one and done. I get what they were doing in the second one, to continue on from the first one, how it ended. I understand that, but the second one should not have been made. The first one should have just ended where it was at.
Yeah. For me personally, it's like, I'm the kind of guy that's like, if it's a really in-depth story and it has a really big world with potential to grow from there,
yeah,
then yes, I want to see a sequel to it. I want to see it expand. I want to see it keep going. What I don't like is when a movie sets up a sequel without putting the legwork in the first movie to warrant it.
Got it.
Like for instance, Star Wars sequels. I'm pretty much all for Star Wars sequels. I love Star Wars to death. Matrix, yeah, that movie honestly could have done without a sequel, but I'm glad it did get sequels.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, however, the sequels have the problem that aside from the first one, you cannot watch them standalone.
No, you can't.
But the Matrix movies, I feel like if you're going to watch the entire saga, you have to watch it in a day.
Oh, and the other one too, Lord of the Rings. Good movie, but you can't watch it alone.
No. You have to watch them. You can't watch them standalone. You have to watch them all in a day, and you're going to watch them all in a day. Yeah, that's your whole day gone.
Plan your day out.
Yeah. With Matrix, you can get like half a day, and that'd be good.
Yes.
But there are some movies that I feel like should have been a one and done. I'm actually one of the people who think that Fast and Furious should have been a one and done movie.
Yeah, and again, I respect it, and I can see why. I can see that over the top, they blow shit up. I get it, but for me, it's entertaining. So I understand.
And not to mention a part of it is also what does the sequel focus on? What does it double down on?
That is true.
In the previous one, I said that I enjoyed the first 4 Fast and Furious movies.
Yes.
So you might think it's really rare that I would say they should have done the first one. My problem is that with regards to like Star Wars, they doubled down on the lightsaber combat, the thematics, the Force, the exploring the world, getting the characters together. The Matrix, they doubled down on the war with the machines, on what's meant to be the one. Games like Halo, they double down on the organized religion angle. Gears of War, they double down on they double down on the characters actually. Gears of War, because the story was, I would argue, nothing to write home about. The characters were definitely something to write home about.
Yeah.
And in games like say this one's gonna bug the hell out of me going forward. In games like like Aussie, I don't know how to about this, like Xenoblade, I think they did the right thing to double down on. Fast and the Furious, I feel like they should have doubled down on the stunt driving.
Yeah.
As opposed to the spectacle.
Yeah, but no, I get what you're saying. But the only reason why I would see why they wouldn't do that is because that's a major risk. Because if they were to do some of those stunts, and I know what stunts I've seen in every movie, that's a liability.
Yes,
it's a liability. So I understand why they did it the way they did it. Because I'm telling you, if I was a stunt driver and they want me to do that, most likely I'll be dead 90%. So I'm not gonna.
I don't know if you heard about this. This happened, I think, like 2014-ish.
Yeah.
With Resident Evil. Well, the stunt woman, she got horribly crippled.
Oh yeah, I remember you told me this. Oh my god.
Yeah, and when I saw the article and what happened to her was. Yeah, it was horrible. Because what happened was the director. This is according to her. The director pushed her. The director and the lead actress actually, I think, pushed her to do the scene. The water was too rough. The water on the ground was too wet. And the motorcycle, I think there's something going on with the motorcycle. And then, so what happened was she did the stunt, and the crane, the operator crane that the camera was on, I think either it collapsed on her or she ran right into it. I forget what happened, but you know, it basically bit her spine. She lost, I want to say, a couple of fingers.
That made me that makes me scream every time he mentions that.
She did end up suing, and to the director and the lead actress, great. They did visit her in the hospital, and they did try to make sure she was okay.
I don't give
but
it.
at the same
I don't
time,
give a damn.
If what she's alleging is true, that is what
Nah,
on them.
nah, I don't.
And apparently the studio also wanted it to happen too.
I'm going to say this. I don't give a damn if you visit me.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
If you force me to do that, I'm saying if that.
And she raised concerns about it too.
Yeah. But if those two, including the studio, force you to do that, no. I'm suing you.
Yeah, and she did, and I believe she won too. But
she better have won that.
but it was one of those things where it's like, I get where you're coming from. Like, you have to be careful with stunts. I'm not saying do over the top stunts. What I'm saying is that it should be focused on like expert maneuvering of the vehicle.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Not so much doing flips and stuff like that,
Yeah,
but like
just
like
turns and everything.
doing like turns, drifts.
Okay, yeah, now I can see that. I can respect that. Yes.
How can you like let's say you're trying to go through a tight alleyway, can you get the car from like two wheels and ride across the wall?
Gosh, yeah, okay.
Like what happened in the old James Bond films.
Okay, yes.
Granted, the James Bond films had a tragic ending to one of their life stunts,
Yes.
but that's worth another time.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm not talking like big explosions, big flips.
Oh, I
like
got
that.
you. Okay.
That would be way too much of a risk.
Yeah.
In those instances, you need to be able to do a stunt where it's like you can get the car going, kind of line it up just right, and then get the driver to like either jump out or maybe remote control the car. So you got that stuff nowadays.
But you know what's interesting? You say that. That's why a lot of people love Tokyo Drift more.
Yeah.
But for me, I didn't like that. And see, that's where I think why they did it the direction they did for that franchise.
Yeah.
Somebody like me, if it wasn't like the version of Tokyo Drift, I wouldn't like it as much.
Yeah.
Because it's too real. I know it sounds crazy, but I like explosions. It's just something that doesn't make any sense. It's out of this world.
Yeah.
Like, I prefer this franchise over Transformers franchise.
Yeah.
That didn't make any sense. Transformers didn't make any sense.
Well, okay. Well, then let me ask you this question because Transformers got a lot of sequels.
Yes.
There's no franchise that just stopped at the first movie.
Yes.
You say that you prefer Fast the way it is now.
Yes, I do.
Explosions and whatnot.
Yes.
But Transformers also has over-top explosions. So
I
what's the
can't.
difference?
The difference for me is, I feel like the director when he's doing certain shots and explosions in certain scenes, he just places them in there. It's like let me set the remote real quick. It's like, imagine I'm going to take this remote and I want it in a scene. No. Like no. We have this. Imagine this is one of the camera scenes, and I want to put this into a serious moment. I make it goofy, and it doesn't make any sense. Why am I putting a goofy moment in a serious scene and explosions on top of that? It doesn't make any sense to me.
So what you're saying is that it goes from being over the. Yeah,
it's too over the top.
It goes from being over the top to being the realm of parody.
Yeah, because the main reason is because I've seen his work. He does the same thing over and over and over again, and nothing changes. It's the same thing. So what I'm saying is with Fast and Furious, it's different because they're always raising the bar and it's doing something different. Even though it's the same explosions and everything, but it's something different. One that had a submarine. One that had a big wrecking ball. One that had an airplane. Them jumping out of an airplane in a car. That was something new. I never seen it before.
So yeah, so I would give credit on that. With Fast and Furious, even with the over the top antics, it is something different every movie. Like if you showed a set piece to somebody who has a passing knowledge of the film,
yes,
the film franchise, they could they could basically say that they could say that they could make a reasonable guess anyway that it's from a later film.
Yes.
With Transformers,
it's the same thing.
If you showed a clip from it, they would be able to tell you that they couldn't tell you what movie it's from, only that it's not from the first one.
Yeah, I can easily tell you right now what's gonna happen. Bad guys come. Optimus gets hurt again. Bumblebee has to come in and step in and save the day with one of the humans. Then the bad guys die. Then the Allspark comes back and Optimus makes this speech, then kicks ass, and then it ends there with him saving the day again.
Yeah.
It's the same thing over and over and over again. Even when you put new people in there, which did not help at all, it wasn't entertaining as much as Fast and Furious, because again they raised the bar. Where Transformers, it was just the same repetitive thing over and over and over again. I didn't like it. The first two I liked. I've seen all of them. I don't know how I even got through it, but I did. But no, first two I'm just sticking with.
Okay. So I think for me personally, when it comes to sequels, the aesthetic I could care less about. As long as the story delivers on the potential that the narrative offers.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Then I'm all for a sequel.
Okay.
It's one of the reasons why I cannot stand The Last Jedi, because the sequel potential set up in Force Awakens, which is not delivered on The Last Jedi. In Force Awakens, we set up that our three main protagonists, our two main protagonists, because I'm going to be honest with you, Poe Dameron, no offense to Oscar Isaac, but your character in Force Awakens was probably the most forgettable character in that movie. Because he just disappears and randomly shows up again.
That is true.
When your character showed up again, I legit didn't know who the hell it was.
Yeah, he did better in Moon Knight for me.
Yeah, but with John Boyega's character and Daisy Ridley's character and Adam Driver's characters, they set up that Finn was possibly going to be a Force sensitive.
Yeah.
That Rey had a mysterious past about her, and Kylo Ren was not as sold on the dark side as we would have initially thought. And those were interesting potentials.
Yeah, no, it was.
What I thought was going to happen was that Rey was going to be the dark side character. Kylo was going to come back to life, but he's going to have to basically earn everybody's trust again.
Yeah.
And Finn was going to defect and become the one in the middle. Become the hero from nowhere.
Yeah.
But then the sequel comes around, Finn gets shoved to the side to be this jokey Negro. Adam Driver's character, while they do some work towards the he's conflicted arc, they don't do enough.
No, that's not.
And it's always punctuated by some fucking joke. And Daisy Ridley's character becomes overpowered to the point where I just stopped caring.
Yeah, because like there was a scene where they were in the desert, running away from some, I guess, some other stormtroopers, and it didn't make any sense.
You talking about Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So you have like Finn riding the bike, Chewie's on with them, and you see Rey all of a sudden just do a big ass flip.
And cut the wing off.
How?
It's like, and this is after it's like they established she's all powerful, but it's just trained, but she doesn't need to train. It's just.
It don't make no sense.
It makes no sense, and that's also part of my reason why I don't like Last Jedi, because Last Jedi basically cut off. At the end of this movie, it said there is nothing else to follow up on. We're done. But you still have a trilogy left in it.
But you told me about Finn, and it made sense. Like the way, because again, he's been through like the moment of being a stormtrooper, and still like he's still.
They were basically rehashing Cal Katarn's story.
Yeah, and like even like his character to me was very interesting at first. I'm like, okay, and like you said one time, they had a poster of him, a big ass poster with the
lightsaber, and every Star Wars poster, the person with the lightsaber is the main character.
Yeah, and I thought it was gonna be him. And man, when you explained about that Thor scene, it made logical sense. So
it's like I was prepared, and honestly, part of this is actually part of it is due to the ending of Force Awakens, because Rey has the mind trick in Force Awakens. I'm like, okay, I will give her that as long as Finn's the one with the lightsaber. Not only did they not do that, Finn got beaten by a guy who's partially injured. Rey's lightsaber,
I didn't understand that.
A weapon she's never used before.
Yeah,
and she beats him.
Yes. Because I'm telling you, Finn was giving it to Kylo.
Yeah.
He was giving it to him in the Force.
Yeah, what honestly should have happened in the scene, in the sequence going forward, and this is Disney, you want to hire me, this is for you. But what should happen at the end of Force Awakens is that Rey should have been the one flinging stuff at Kylo, even though he's injured, to show how powerful he is in the dark side, even as gimped as he is, not fully embracing it. We should see how powerful he is. Rey should be throwing stuff at him with the Force, seeing how good a learner she is.
Yes.
And Finn should be fighting with the lightsaber, so we can see that together these two make an excellent team. But we also get that Finn's the one who's more grounded, and Rey's slowly losing control.
Yes.
And Kylo's basically seeing that.
Yes.
The sequel should have been Rey defects to the dark side.
Yes.
Kylo should have came back. His mom should have made a big speech to try to, get you on the side, but they're still not buying it. Finn should have defended because he has basically lost any concept or basically any nuance of light and dark. And what should have happened halfway through that film? They should have brought back Mace Windu. Because in the lore of Star Wars, and yes, Star Wars nerd alert here, Mace Windu uses a fighting technique that basically has him absorb the dark side of the opponent he's fighting and redirect it back at him.
Oh, wow.
So what would have been interesting is to have Finn find basically an old Mace, because Samuel Jackson says he's open to come back and play the role.
Oh no, several times.
And we should have him come back, maybe have him find his old lightsaber, and have him train Finn.
Yes.
And have Finn basically come back as this Force user who's basically the one who says, you two have gotten too far into one side of the argument. The real villain is here.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen.
Yeah, but and the last thing I want to say about Star Wars thing is when you mentioned about Rey going to the dark side, the way they edited it in the trailer, I thought that was going to happen.
The way they edit in the movie too. They even have it in the Disney don't do this anymore. Even in the book adaptation, because what the problem is Disney's trying to make a new expanded universe ever since they killed the old one.
Oh god.
And so in the books, you have to read the books to get the expanded universe stuff. That's not how you do expanded universe.
Yeah.
Expanded universe is meant to supplement the movies. No, it's meant to complement the movies. It shouldn't be required for you to understand a scene. In the books, they specifically say she feels a draw to the dark side.
Yes.
And it's a whole big thing. They show that in the book. Phasma's not fully on board the First Order, but that was never from the movies either. So it's like, it's just, if you're going to do a sequel, you have to understand where you're going. You have to have a plan.
Yeah. You
have to be able to deliver on the promises there. Whereas with Star Wars, it just said, oh, it's Star Wars, and people will go and watch it. You know what happened after Last Jedi happened? The drop-off rate for Star Wars plummeted. It lost a lot of money. Rise of Skywalker didn't even do nearly as good. This is what I mean. It's like you have to deliver on the sequel. Like, even with Matrix Reloaded, yes, there's that whole big diatribe at the last end of the movie. It was like a 15-minute monologue, I think, or it's a long-ass monotone monologue.
Yeah.
But it demonstrates who the character is in that moment.
Yeah.
B, we actually are told everything we need to know. It's not hard to follow. It's actually very succinct to the point.
It's simple, actually.
It's just boring how it's delivered. And then the Matrix Revolution delivers upon the what it left off with. What happens now that Neo has refused to continue the cycle?
Yeah.
And then it's just, and then you have some sequels like Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where it's a sequel, but you don't have to play the first game to understand what's going on in the second game.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's what I want in sequels. I want them to either double down the ideas that they presented, because once again, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, yes, it does, while it is a sequel, you have to play the first one to understand what's going on in the second one. There are still things in the second one that will help better understand the first one, and vice versa. So it's just one of those things where it's like they complement each other, but they're not required for each other.
Yeah. So let me ask you this: as far as another sequel, like the Jurassic Park franchise, how did you feel about that?
That should have been the one that done.
Oh, really?
The first Jurassic Park should have been the only one they made.
Okay.
Because even though I believe Jurassic Park, the first three, the very first three.
Yes.
I believe those were actually based upon books.
Yeah. No, but
as far as movies go, I think the first one would have been fine.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to you. The one with Jeff Goldblum, the second one.
Yeah.
I never had gone back and watched that one. I didn't like the one as much.
I seen it once. It felt very, very tonally disjointed from the first one.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like an escalation of things. It just felt like
I will say I did love Jurassic Park 3. I love that because I love how they introduced Alan Grant and bring him back, and then like this time he just trying to just live his life out, and then he just brought back into that world, and then like not realizing this bigger giants on the island. So I love how they did that. I do. I actually do love that. And I feel like now for Jurassic World,
Still not seen Jurassic World.
Yeah, I will say this. So the first Jurassic World, I loved. It was new and refreshed.
Okay.
Now, Chris Pratt did an amazing job with his character. I'm going to stick by that. He did an incredible job playing his character in the first Jurassic World. Second one, that was trash. I didn't like it. Now again, Chris Pratt did his job in the second one, but it was just certain actors in it that made the movie bad for me. And it was one of them was the boy that played in Pokemon, the live action with Ryan Reynolds voicing Pikachu, the black boy. I can't remember his name. He was in there. He was god awful. He was trash. There was like two people in there. That was just trash. But if I had to pick between Jurassic World and Jurassic World 2: The Fallen Kingdom, I would just say the first one. The first one should have been one and done.
Yeah.
But I'm actually really excited to see the last conclusion for that.
This one coming up is going to be the end.
But they're bringing all the OGs back and everything. But I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I am honestly fine with that.
I would say this right now. This should be the last Jurassic Park.
No, it is. No, it is.
Period.
But that's why I feel like when they said this is the epic conclusion, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
The fact that you're bringing like the OGs in here along with the new generation, I am fine with that because again, it's a final conclusion. It makes sense to do that. It makes sense to do that.
Yeah.
But I don't like the second Jurassic Park, and Jurassic Park funky. But the first Jurassic World is amazing. Jurassic Park 3 is good, and the first Jurassic Park again is a classic.
Yeah.
So yes, those two are good, but the other ones should have been removed.
And I will say this right now, on the concept of sequels, because the thing about sequels is that sequels are theoretically a godsend for the studio because you can make money consistently off the property, but at some point you have to know when the end ended.
But that's the issue though. They don't because again another perfect example is Predators.
Yeah.
They kept going and going and going and going, and there was like 4 or 5 of them they did that was horrible, and now they come out with another one.
Well, I think they only had like 5 Predators.
Sorry, I think.
And I think the first 2 were amazing.
Then the first 2 were amazing. The other 3 were just trash.
Yeah.
And then now they're doing a Prey show, I believe, on Hulu.
A show?
Yeah, I sent you that one already. We got react to that.
Yeah, we got to react to that one. Yeah.
But I didn't see. I just saw the thumbnail, so I don't know what time frame it is. It looks like it's like around like the Native American timeline, I believe. But yeah, I don't know. But I think just overall the Predator franchise it failed miserably for me. I would rather pick the Alien franchise over Predator. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I would honestly pick Predator. I pick Predator over Alien because I like the concept and design around the Predator. It's such a unique and interesting design for an alien. Even though Alien itself has the most unique design, I just prefer I forget what they're actually called. That's do have a name. I forget what the Predators are called. But I would say that Predator and Alien are actually in the same boat for me. Yeah. They should have stopped after the second movie.
I feel like for me, for Alien wise, the way they made those other ones was fine. Yeah. They shouldn't stop in my opinion because when they did Prometheus, which is basically an origin story of how Alien came to be, that wasn't necessary for me. I was amazed by that. I love that. I'm fine with them doing an origin story, and the way they did about it, the script told and everything, it made sense. Nothing was out of place. Nothing was just put in just to be put in, so it worked. It made sense. And when they made the second one, which was Alien Covenant, I understood why that one came out to the sequel from the second one. It made perfect sense. So and then that worked for me. I just could never go back and watch any of the Predators. Like it's just because because like it went from being serious to goofy.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand.
And I do agree with that. The Predators, Alien has, even though I say that Alien should have stopped after 2.
Yeah.
The tone of Alien has still been consistent.
Yeah.
It's still been a very consistent tone. Whereas Predator, even in the second movie, there were just moments that just didn't make sense. Like, I remember in the second one, there was a point where Predator goes, "Shit happens," and I'm like, why?
Wait a minute. The Predator says that?
Yes. It's.
Are you serious?
Yes. It's a very small moment. It only happens once, but it's just why.
I need to go back because like Predator 2 is the one that has Danny Glover in it.
Yes, it is. Honestly, I say it's the best of the Predators, but that scene still sticks out.
Wow, I did not know that. I need to go
Unless I'm mistaken, I believe the Predator does say shit happens.
I need to go back and watch that because I don't remember all the scenes. I remember some scenes.
Yeah.
I don't remember that part being there. I mean, I only watch that sometimes a week, but that's interesting though.
And it also expands on the mythos of the Predators. Because in the first one, Dutch has to basically fight and kill a Predator, and he barely survives by the skin of his teeth. In the sequel, Donald Glover's character, he has to survive as well. But after he ends up killing him, the Predator spaceship comes down, and they hand him a trophy. They hand him an old musket, like 1950s.
I thought that was the girl from Alien vs Predator.
No. She got something else. I remember he got this musket pistol thing.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, they hand him in, and then they fly off because we learned that with the Predators, even if you are a prey species, if you conquer a predator, you have their respect.
Yeah, but see, what I remember, the only part I remember out of that movie where he was all bloodied up. They were getting ready to take off, and he was trying to find an exit, and I guess he jumped out. He found an exit, jumped out, it took off, and he was all bloodied up and everything. And he was playing a cop in that movie. I gotta go back and watch it. I don't remember any of that.
I'll have to go back and watch it, but I'm fairly certain that he's the one who gets the pistol. And I believe she has like this kind of slight mark on her forehead.
Yeah, because they used it was a cheat because they used the acids from the xenomorphs and mark her as one of their own. People.
Which that's what I like in sequels.
No, I don't like that.
They expand upon the concepts and ideas that you introduced in here. The Predators are a brutal hunting species, but they also have a code of honor.
Yeah.
Whereas the aliens are just mindless animals that will eat and murder you for something. But they're also but they also do think.
Yes, but I will say with Prometheus, they are actually deeper. As far like when they talk about meaning in life, it is really deep and dark. I like that though. I really do love that.
Another franchise that has gone on that I feel too long, and I think while I do love the first 2 movies of it, I think this one should have stopped after the first one.
Which one was that?
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Okay.
Because the very first one was this unexpected throwback. No one thought this movie was going to do good.
Yeah.
And it came out to be way better than I would say it's probably I would say that this one and the sequel, Dead Man's Chest, are required viewing for film classes.
Yeah,
but I still maintain it should stop at the first one.
No,
at the very least the second one.
Yeah, I feel like for me, Dead Man's Chest is #1 for me. I love it though. It's just
no, Dead Man's Chest is amazing.
Yeah, it's
I'm not gonna deny that at all.
It's like when I saw the first trailer drop, and then and you see Jack's hand get like the black mark.
Yeah.
You're like what's happening?
Yeah, it's.
And then when they finally show the reveal of the Flying Dutchman, I'm like
the behind the scenes. I remember when that movie was coming out.
Yeah, I seen that.
The behind the scenes of how they make the Flying Dutchman because they said, in this movie the ships actually do sail.
Yeah.
In the first movie they never sailed.
What?
Yeah, in the first movie the ships that they sailed on never actually sailed. In the sequel they actually do.
Oh gosh.
I didn't know. And I remember when this movie came out. I remember specifically this was the last movie, at least for me growing up, where this is coming off of a previous podcast. This is the last movie where the mature rating of a movie actually did make sense.
No, it did make sense because when I tell you he was ruthless in there and he didn't care who he had killed to find Jack Sparrow,
Yeah.
Yeah, he just told them, nah, off with their heads.
And it was a while it did introduce a different fantastical element, it was a natural escalation. We went from cursed gold, which is a staple of private lore, to literally Davy Jones.
Yeah.
The god of death among pirates.
Yeah. And he was marked for what? I forgot what it was.
He was marked in the movie because he made a deal with Davy Jones.
That's right, yes.
To raise the Black Pearl. And after, I think it was...
10 years.
10 years.
10 years.
He would come for his soul.
That's right, yeah.
But Jack's trying to find a way to get out of it.
Yeah, and so, like, I just love that adventure, like, of Jack Sparrow, like, him and Will Turner and everything, and then, like, Elizabeth and everything. But I especially love the Kraken.
Yeah, the Kraken was amazing. But what I love is that it is a ridiculously smartly written movie.
No,
if you pay attention to like the behind the scenes, like when they're playing like Liar's Dice, they actually had to cut out an entire scene because they were explaining how the dice work. But they cut it down where they said no, Will actually explains it perfectly, and if you're following the game as it's played, you actually understand the game 100%. You just gotta be gotta be thinking about it.
Yeah, because
but another thing is that another thing is that every character wants this chest for different reasons. So when they come together, it's not contrived. It makes a lot of sense.
But that's why I also made you brought that up. That's why I love that story the most. Because again, like it was I can't remember the other guy that Elizabeth Turner was supposed to marry, but she chose. I know Commodore Norton. Yeah, Commodore Norton. His intentions were so shady. Like his intention. Will's intentions were justified, but still a little bit shit at the same time. So was Jack, and then Elizabeth. There's just a whole bunch of like everybody just wanted to shit for themselves, and I love that.
But they all made sense.
Yeah, it made sense. It made sense.
Not to mention, one thing that everybody kind of misses. The same thing what happened with Lando Calrissian in episode 5. Another thing that everybody misses is that the guy you think was in the wrong actually wasn't.
Wait,
so with Jack Sparrow, right?
Yeah.
Elizabeth says you were telling the truth the entire time, and Will thinks he sent him to his death, and all of a sudden everybody thinks that Jack was a lying, two-faced coward. But if you pay attention, when Jack sends him over to find the key or whatever, he tells Jack before he tells Will before he goes over.
The file's over there.
Not that. He says, tell him that Jack sent you to settle his debt. It might save your life.
Yes.
And it actually did.
Oh no, I know.
Will had not said that he would be a dead man.
Oh no, I do remember that because I remember they cut and it panned on Will and Will said, "That's the Flying Dutchman."
Yeah.
I remember.
Because everybody's like, well, Jack was going to obviously leave Will to die.
No.
Jack's intention.
He told him.
Jack's intention. Yeah, he wanted him to sell his debt because he hoped that maybe Will would sell the debt up. Yeah. But if it didn't happen, he had a backup plan.
Yes.
If he found Davy Jones's heart, now this could be inferring. Nothing about the movie says this, but it's implied that if Jack gets the heart, he can make Davy Jones do whatever he wants, including release Will.
That's actually what I got from the movie when it was focused on Jack at the time that he was showing up. That's actually what I got from because the way that Johnny Depp, like it was mostly in his behavior and in his looks and the way he was talking. That's why I was like, oh okay, I think he's trying to like make Davy Jones like his pet or something.
Yeah.
And
there's always an angle for Jack.
Yeah.
There's always an angle. Even though at the end of the day all he wants is his damn ship.
Yes.
That's what we find in the movie. The only thing that he really truly wanted was the Black Pearl.
Yeah, but it's always something else that always just stopping him from just keeping his ship.
And you could infer and you can infer that Jack could or at least had it in his mind he was going to save Will at the end of the day if he got the heart. But you also infer that he's going to leave him to die. You never know with Jack.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by like that Dead Man's Chest should be required for viewing these movies. But I still maintain that we have something because the thing that sours the second movie is that it sets up for the third one, and I have mixed feelings with it going forward. But as a sequel, Dead Man's Chest is a fantastic sequel.
Yeah, I think the worst one out of all of them for me is on Stranger's Time.
Yeah, I would say that one too.
That's the worst one. Now I've seen all of them.
I've not seen the last one. But
now I would say that one is actually really interesting.
What was it, Dead Men Tell No Tales?
Yeah, Dead Men Tell No Tales. And I can't remember the guy's name. He was the one that played the weird guy drinking milk in No Country for Old Men.
I know who you're talking about.
Yes, he plays the villain in that.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
And it's actually interesting. I love that direction with it. Now again, it's still over the top, but again, it's not better than number 2.
Yeah.
But that one I feel like is still good in my eyes.
Yeah.
But on Stranger Tides, no, that's gotta go.
Yeah.
That was unnecessary.
But that's the thing with like when it comes to sequels is that you gotta know the premise, but you also have to come to the caveat that everyone expects you to go bigger with sequel, and that's inevitable. It's inevitable that you are going to go like let's look at the Marvel sequels.
Yes.
Every single Marvel movie has, to some extent, even
Yes.
when they're contained to their own superhero, have had to escalate as this franchise.
But I will say this, and again, I may get flack for saying this. I think Harry Potter might be better than the Marvel franchise.
Oh no, you're right about that.
Because again, they went bigger and bigger every time, but the story made sense.
Not to mention, I think it was easier to go with that, not because they had a book series to follow, but because the book series was always intended to grow up with its readers.
No, it was.
So when they casted
Daniel Radcliffe, Emma Watson,
and
Ron. Oh no, Ron.
That name is Green.
Yeah. Oh, Rupert Green.
Rupert Green. When they cast all 3 of them as kids, when they grew up with the roles and the characters, it fits. Because at the time they were playing the ages they were playing, they were the ages they were playing.
Yeah.
So and then you have like these powerhouses like the woman who played the woman, I forget what her name is, but she turned into she was a teacher turned into a cat.
R.I.P. to her. She passed away.
Oh, she did?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, sweet Jesus, no.
I think so. I might be wrong, but I think she did. Yeah.
And then you have Alan Rickman, God rest his soul.
Oh yeah.
Then you have both the actors who played Dumbledore.
Yeah.
And it's just you had a rock solid cast. John Hurt, but he was only in I think the first movie. He was the guy who handed Harry his wand.
Oh yeah. No,
he's a powerhouse actor.
Actually, he appeared in one more. He appeared in Deathly Hallows.
Oh really?
Part 1, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But he was. God, that man was super.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know who John Hurt is, I know I gave it away. He was the guy who handed Harry his wand in the first movie, but he was also the guy who had the chest burster pop out of his chest in the first Alien movie.
Oh, that was him?
That was him, yeah.
Whoa!
And fun fact, no one at the table knew what was going to happen.
I know, I remember that.
Yeah. Everybody legitimately didn't know what was going to happen.
That was funny to me because I don't know the old dude's name, the black dude.
Yeah.
He was in charge. He's like, oh, gee. But the guy got this one, back up. I'm like, yo, that is hilarious. But yeah, I've actually have seen Harry Potter way more times than probably any of the Marvel films. Not gonna lie.
The Prisoner of Azkaban is by far my favorite Harry Potter.
Yeah.
That one was perfect.
No, it is. But I will say this too. It really got darker around Prisoner of Azkaban. That one, but the other one, Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood Prince.
It got darker. I was like, whoa.
Boy, it just kept escalating.
Yeah, but it kept escalating.
It's like the sequels. Like sequels do have to escalate. They have to up the stakes. Yeah. But you don't have to go too over the top.
Yeah.
Like I bring up Marvel because
they were going big every time.
At this point, you've already had half the universe wiped out.
Yeah.
To the point where you have to go back in time to fix it. How do you outdo that?
You can't.
You really can't, which is why I'm concerned that the Marvel sequels are going to basically go downhill.
Well, it's funny you said there was an article somewhere I could find it like they're saying like it was said like they're struggling like after Phase 4 or something like because it's really hard to beat that. Like y'all spent 10 years in the making, sort of like from the beginning to the end. Like that was a good 10 years. But like after that, like what more can you do?
And I would argue that while I did enjoy everything from Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, I would argue that Marvel should have stopped after the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
And I would make that argument.
I'm gonna disagree on that because of one movie I feel like it was necessary. Shang-Chi. That movie was fine.
I've not seen Shang-Chi yet. I look forward to seeing it.
That movie, I will say, I'm glad they made that. But everything else, yes, I agree with you.
And the reason why I say this because after the first Avengers, there was, it was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. That's a TV show. And
Love that show.
I believe that show tied into the beginning of Age of Ultron. There's Age of Ultron, and there was Ant-Man and the Wasp. Both those movies, Guardians of the Galaxies. There was the other Thor movies. Iron Man 3.
Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. 3 was the one where Tony really had his past came to haunt him.
Yeah.
And that had Ron somebody, I can't remember, Ron Pierce, I can't know his name. Whatever his name is, but yeah, him in there. 3 was 2 was bad.
It was bad.
2 was bad.
And then there was Captain America: Civil War. There was Black Panther.
That was good.
And I will say, and this is why I say this: every movie, even the one people don't think are good from the first phase, like Incredible Hulk and the first Thor movie.
I love that.
I thought both those were amazing. But what I'm getting at is that after the first Avengers movie, realistically speaking, only Civil War and Black Panther were really any amount of interesting.
Yeah, no.
In my opinion, I think the only two that were any kind of interesting.
Civil War for me, I agree with you on Civil War and Black Panther. But Winter Soldier for me was good.
Oh right, Winter Soldier. I forgot about Winter Soldier. Yeah, that one was great. That was fantastic too. I forgot about Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one was good too.
Captain America.
But those were the only 3.
Yeah, no, it was. No, it was.
That I would argue were worth watching.
Yeah, no, it was. That we're watching, but Shang-Chi was different than those 3.
Yeah.
It was something different. I really can't explain what it is, but it was something different where it had a new style, new look, new feel to it, and each time it was just non-stop, just action, but a good story, and they explain the backstories, and then everything came together. It worked so well. That movie was just so good.
And part of the reason why I say is that those movies I specifically mention to are meant to lead into Infinity War.
Yeah.
And Infinity War, I will admit, it was a fantastic movie.
It is.
But the lead into it was not good.
Oh, you want Endgame?
No, not the lead into Endgame. I mean the movies leading up to Infinity
War.
Okay,
my bad.
Didn't hit me the same way the lead into the first Avengers did.
No, I got you.
And then Endgame happened, and it had the exact same problem Iron Man 2 had. Strong beginning, strong end. What the hell was that middle act?
In
Endgame.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know to tell you about that.
I feel like that was specifically there to show Thor being fat, to have Hulk hand Ant-Man some tacos.
Yeah,
that was
it was
basically
it. It was unnecessary. I mean, okay, so how I see it, I understood what they were doing, but it was really unnecessary because that was about 10, 20 minutes of that whole entire middle scene. I'm like, guys, just take it out on a piece of paper and throw that thing in the trash can.
Because I think what would have made more sense, because I get why they did it. Yeah, we're literally coming off of half the universe is gone.
Yeah,
and they wanted to have a lighthearted moment.
Yeah.
What they really should have done is they should have had one lighthearted moment where we see Hulk and Professor Hulk, where Bruce and Hulk are merged, and then we should just hear rumors about other characters like how Thor's depressed, but he shouldn't be a big Lebowski reference. And then the joke should have come from them going back in time. That's when they should have been.
I think personally, when Ant-Man was sitting in the taco, I think that was fine. That was necessary. That little humor was perfect. Even though it was still out of place, sort of, it still worked in my eyes a little bit. But the other parts, man, they need to be wiped out. Wipe it out.
Yeah, and that's when getting when it comes to sequels. And I get it. It's hard to write a sequel because you have to continue on from either an unexpected hit or a bomb.
Yeah.
I believe what was it? There was a movie that came out recently, and it was a sequel to a movie that actually didn't do too well.
If you know who's in it, I can probably tell you what it's called.
Honestly, I forget who's in it because I haven't watched all the movies recently.
Is it?
It was a horror movie. That was no concern. I think
Don't Breathe.
Not Don't Breathe. It was. I think it was Happy Death Day.
Oh, wait, no. Okay, so, Happy Death Day. Is that one where the blonde girl dies and repeats
and the guy had this weird freaking smiley mask on his face?
So, like a little baby face?
Yeah.
So people need to understand about that movie. It's a mixture of a little bit of horror and comedy, but it's mostly comedy.
Yes.
It's not really horror. It's just like thriller.
Okay, well, then those trailers completely did a horrible job selling that movie.
Yeah,
I thought the horror.
To me, I enjoyed it. I loved it. I loved it. Now the first one is still better than the second one. I've seen both, but the first one, like, it's horror, thriller, comedy, but it works. I know what they were doing. I know what they were doing. Because there were parts in there that made me jump in there. And there were a lot of comedic parts in there, but it worked though, because again, it's not like Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
Don't Breathe wasn't horror, but it was still a thriller and suspenseful. Like I was on the edge of my seat on that. This, like the first trailer, it did come off as horror, and then the second trailer they released for the first one, it came off as comedic. So I knew what they were trying to convey. And everything, but yeah, I mean, the first one was still the best. Second one, it didn't do as good because it was just, I think it was pointless today.
Ironically, I think the worst offenders of sequels are sequels aimed at kids.
I know.
Like Cars, like that should have been a one and done.
Oh Jesus!
I've seen parts of Cars 2 and Cars 3.
I've seen, and I know people in the comments want to ask, why do you watch them if you hate them so much? Don't ask me. I've seen all of them. They should have ended on Cars 2. Yeah, I was going to say because when they did Cars 4, I believe, that was too much.
Yeah.
That was way too much. I love Cars, but no, that's doing too much.
And I will say, going off of that, for those of you who do say that, here's my response to that. It's less that we hate them, is that we go into these movies with an open mind. We are hoping that they will be good, but if we don't acknowledge that there is a problem with it, how can they get better?
Yeah, because let me tell you, when I tell you about the Transformers, it was so excruciating trying to get through those movies, especially the one with Mark Wahlberg, because there were some points that were entertaining.
Yeah.
But overall, the majority of it was just not good.
And here's what I'll say to that: like before we started doing this channel, I was very much in the mindset of if I don't like it, I'm not watching it.
Yeah.
But because we're doing this channel,
like
we do have to sit down and watch and actually, give opinions and understand where stuff is going.
And I'm telling you, there are some movies I do not want to see. That I'm not kidding you. I may have to have a drink.
Yeah.
Because it's mentally, it's hard for me to get through. I can't even watch the movie. Still to this day, I know we have to watch it. I meant to have a drink for that one. Dragon Ball.
Oh God!
Yeah.
You know what we're going to do for that one? When we do that one, we're going to watch the Dragon Ball series, which is going to be a very, 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 very long thing. We're going to watch the animated movies, but to break it up. Because I already know that when we get to Evolution, oh sweet Jesus, I'm gonna throttle somebody.
I may need a piece and drink for that because that was it.
Bro, when we do that, I'm making my nacho dip.
That's fine with me.
I'm making that because we're gonna need that to get through the day.
Yeah, but guys, my whole point is like that. Like I'm glad they did not make a sequel for that. I'm glad because that movie was so horrible.
And they set up for one too. That was
yeah, it was not good.
That ending was.
It was bad, but yeah, like that was bad. Transformers was really hard for me to get through. 1 through 3 of Transformers was good. The rest of them, no, they should end at 3.
Yeah.
Personally.
And the thing about sequels is that if you understand your criticism, you understand your strong points, you should only grow from there.
Yeah. And
even if you make a movie that bombed to begin with, if you come back, Chronicle, I think, probably the other ones. That one, I think actually didn't do too well, but it was a decent movie.
No.
And the guys been trying to make a sequel for years now.
But okay, so I'm glad you brought that up. I'm pissed about that. I'm pissed about that. Let me explain you why. So again, like you said with the first Chronicle, decent. No, I enjoy that.
Yeah.
Now I don't know if they're still going to do this route, but from what I heard last time, they are doing a sequel, but it's not the same people.
Oh, they got for the people?
Girls.
So they're changing to an all-female cast?
Yes.
Why? Wasn't the selling point of the sequel that they were going to have the first supervillain?
Yes.
And then you said the brother, not the brother, the cousin. I can't
remember. No. They were cousins, and and the cousin was evil.
Yeah.
And then
and you know that's just still good. It's like
and that was good.
Are we gonna have another Ghostbusters on our hand right now?
Oh God, I'm tired. Okay, so Lord Jesus.
But I've only seen the first two Ghostbusters, and I'm gonna actually this one's actually gonna catch me a lot of flack. I never thought Ghostbusters was good to begin with. Let the flame commence.
Yeah, no.
So when they announced the new one, I didn't care.
No, I didn't like. No, I'm not gonna lie. So the one other thing I want to agree with you on is because I only seen those, but like all of them at least one time. I said I haven't gone back and watched them. The new one that you're talking about with Paul Rudd and like one or two kids from Stranger Things.
No, not that one. The one before.
Oh, the female cast.
Yeah.
Now I saw that. It wasn't good, but there were parts in it that made me laugh. Surprisingly, did. But
I was actually going to go see that movie for the who was the black lady? I forget her name.
Oh, her. No,
she was funny.
No. Let me tell you, and that she had me cracking up.
Yeah, I was going to go see the movie for her, but then everything kind of happened.
Yeah.
With the controversy and the director being a bitch ass. Apparently, he was married to one of the actresses.
Oh,
and
I know who it is.
And I'm just like, look, your attitude soured me watching this movie.
Yeah.
Like whatever bit of a doubt I was going to give to go to bat for this movie.
Yeah.
Gone.
What is her name? The one that was in I don't want to say it this way, but the big girl that was in the movie.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I forget what her name was.
That's her. That was the husband of the wife right there. That's who she is. But she wasn't even funny in that. The black girl was funny. I think Kristen Wiig was in that. She was funny. Those two were funny.
Chris Hemsworth, I think, was in that. I believe he was hilarious.
Oh, bro, he was hilarious.
Chris Hemsworth, you should see the. Get off topic here. You should see the YouTube video where he basically crashes an Australian news broadcast.
No, I saw that.
I was like, my dog.
Oh, hi, how you doing? Yeah, yes, we're here, right here in the back here. See all the
He just kind of walks into frame.
Yeah.
I'm like, is that Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah. He's like,
and you see the news reporter have like this internal fangirl moment.
I mean, you know, wait, is this really happening? Is this live?
It is live. They come back to the studio.
Bro, I
and
love that video.
I watched it like 5 times.
No, I have
hilarious.
too. Man, but yeah, but he's actually a funny dude. He's really funny.
Yeah,
and I will say, as far as with him too, the movie that he was in, Extraction, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good. Now, even though the plot made sense, the story could have been a little better. It could have been a little better, but it was still good.
Yeah.
It's still rewatchable in some ways for me. They are making a number 2 though, so I'm actually curious to know how this is going to turn out though.
Yeah.
So, but like just some of and that other Ghostbuster, I'm not even going to go see. I'll say this, guys. If we happen to do like a series for that, unfortunately I have to watch it. But like overall, I really don't want to watch that.
Yeah.
It looks trash. It really does look trash. I'm just like, why y'all keep making these Ghostbusters? Why? I'm trying to say, like, what is the reason for making this video?
I think the problem, right, is as he was with the all-female Ghostbusters cast.
Yes.
They announced it before the movie came out. They were trying to make a Ghostbusters universe.
Why?
Because it was the thing at the time. Remember, Marvel was big. But I think once again, going back to that whole chasing trends video a while ago, the whole point was that they wanted to catch on a universe.
Yeah, but
Ghostbusters is not one of those
franchises. Yeah. I'll agree to that. I don't see Ghostbusters as that though. I don't see Ghostbusters as that. And then another sequel. I hate to say this, but I love the first two. Yeah, first two. The Mummy.
Oh, right, with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
Those were, man, I don't care how goofy that was. I don't care how rubbery Dwayne The Rock Johnson was.
Yeah, that pissed me off.
I love those movies.
I love it, but every time it gets me irritated. Every time I see The Rock come on, smile. What the guy? I'm like, y'all, look at The Rock. It's trash. And even the last scene and this was The Mummy too. When the original OG Mummy is getting pulled down in hell, the hands look horrible too.
Yeah, but also, it is like late '90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, but I can give them.
But they leaned way too hard.
But that, and actually, did you see the one with Jet Li?
Which one was that?
Mummy 4.
Didn't know.
Okay, yeah. So.
Oh no! Wait, with the mummies, with the Immortal Army?
Yeah.
Yes, I have seen that one. Oh god, that was good. That was terrible. Oh my god.
Yeah, I know, but
I had to realize that. Wait, Jet Li, Kung Fu, China, boom, got it.
I was just like, cause I was really ready to say it's cheesy, but I can still watch that.
Yes, I can still watch
because
that.
it's something about. Because it was one.
They don't take it seriously.
Yeah, they don't take it seriously. But it was one scene in particular. I remember. I think Rick's son has shot RPG. Jet Li's character, who's still in stone form, literally jumped in the air, dope as fuck, grabs the missile and just throws it back.
Yeah, I remember that.
I'm like, hold on, where did that come from?
And you know they only did it because it's Jet freaking Li.
It's Jet Li. That dude, that man, and see, like, it's like that's a series for me that I can rewatch and not be like, ugh,
yeah.
I'm disgusted. But Transformers, I can, and that's the crazy part. That's on a bigger budget, and I can't rewatch. I can only watch it because we're gonna do a review about it. But like, as other than this, no.
And the same thing for me with the prequels of Star Wars. Yes, I understand the acting can be a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
The writing can be a hell of a lot better. But for the life of me, I still love it because it told a consistent story from start to finish.
It did.
And it is a tragedy. If they, which honestly I'm kind of back and forth. They're going to do this. We're going to talk about this at some point.
Yeah.
But if they do a review for the prequels, for the love of God, please get the same cast back, but just have it act better.
I don't think they're going to. I don't think they will, only because now I'm not saying he's wrong for what he said. I'm just saying just based on Disney's approach. So John Boyega said that like he thought his character was just a side casted, and made Daisy's character the more tackle and everything. Yeah. And he's talking about I probably ain't coming back. I'll probably come back.
Oh, I mean the sequels. I mean the prequels.
I'm sorry.
But for the sequels, yes, those two because God, Adam Driver, Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, Kelly Marie Tran, the girl who played Rose Tico, Oscar Isaac.
I felt bad for her.
I felt bad for all those kids, especially Kelly Marie Tran. Yeah. Because the opening scene of her character, I was actually fully behind this character. And then they had her break character for some fucking reason to be this anti-war capitalist. Like, this is not important to the story right now. Man. You are on an arbitrary timeline because gas is now a thing in Star Wars. Yeah. What the fuck was that about? But it's like you have this rock solid cast, a new generation of actors to keep Star Wars going. What did you do? Absolutely nothing.
There you go.
Absolutely nothing. You had Rose. You basically. I feel like you cast Kelly Marie Tran just to be your Asian character. You had John Boyega because you want to have a funny black guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, oh, Star Wars fandom. I get it. You have a thing against J.J. Abrams. You call him Jar Jar Abrams nowadays. I get it. Jeez. But you have to understand that Force Awakens is only bad because The Last Jedi is bad.
Yes.
Because The Force Awakens got your hopes up and gave you a lot of ideas you could go off of. And The Last Jedi, with Rian Big Balloon Airhead looking Johnson, decided that he wanted to just say, screw that, I'm gonna troll the whole fan base. Yeah. And so he committed the worst sin of a sequel. Not only was your sequel bad, you made the prequel look worse by virtue of undercutting it.
Yeah.
And you have to understand, the Force Awakens, yes, it was a retread of A New Hope. I get it. It should have been something new, something different, but I get why they made it. People didn't like the prequels. Yeah. I get it. I think it's stupid, but I get it. The sequel should have done something different. I fully understand that. But when we say something different, we mean build upon what you already have and take it in a fun, interesting direction. Don't just veer off a cliff because you think it's interesting.
I'm going to mention one more movie because this is the only movie I can think of right now that was getting my opinion, and I'm done with naming the movie because I don't really think of. This one, I think the franchise was good. It was good in my opinion. The Hunger Games.
Oh, was it the first Hunger Games? I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, I thought it was good, and when you mentioned about last one, like the build and everything, they actually did do that for each one.
Yeah.
And it actually was, and it wasn't repetitive in my mind. It was actually different each time. The games got more challenging and more crazy, surprisingly.
Yeah.
So I mean,
which makes sense because I think in the first one they mentioned that they did different phases for each.
Yeah, they did because the first one was just basic challenge. The second one, man, that involved like time, water, electricity.
Yeah.
Like a whole bunch of things. I'm like, wow, that's very different.
Yeah, because you know, whole point of Hunger Games, I forget what the whole point, but it's some kind of like system like control.
Yeah,
but what we learned that the actual Hunger Games are actually a very controlled environment.
Yeah, and then on top of it, like the society that's doing this is actually doing some shady stuff like underneath the work. So it's not only the guys in charge of the Hunger Games. It's people within the higher ranks of society that's doing other shady stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that is some really deep stuff.
Which is why Hunger Games is a dystopia.
Yes.
You know?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, man.
And but yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like with sequels, it's very easy to get it wrong.
It is. It really
and
is.
very hard to get it right. So I understand the pressure to want to deliver on a sequel.
But don't just put out movies. Just put out movies.
And also, if you're a director on a sequel and you want to take a break from it,
do that.
I'd rather you take a break than be burnt out.
Yeah.
Because everybody loses in that situation. You put out a bad product, the people who like the franchise, they're soured on it.
Yes.
But at the same time, studio heads, you have to understand that sometimes a movie franchise only works because of one visionary behind it.
Yeah, of course.
You cannot just try to force a new one in there.
Yeah, of course, I agree with that.
So you have to understand. This is my final thing on sequels anyway. You understand that you have to understand when it is time to stop doing sequels to a franchise, and when it's time to take a break from the sequel.
Yeah.
You have to understand that.
I 100% agree with that.
Otherwise, you're just going to just make things worse and potentially kill your cash cow if you're trying to make a cash cow.
Yeah. It never works.
Got any closing thoughts you want to add?
No, honestly, man, you basically just said everything that I was going to say, honestly, because that's actually what I was going to say, because a lot of people, like you said, they just burn themselves out to the core trying to put money in their pockets, and each movie fails drastically. But yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, man, you basically cover all the bases, though. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, in that case, we're gonna call it quits